Okay, so today is the 4th of November 2025. Again, today we took 2 trades, 1 losing trade and 1 winning trade. A bit frustrated on the first trade because today was the most textbook day ever, and I only realised after the trade why the first trade failed. And it's really frustrating because it made my winning day not that big. But yeah, again, 2 trades taken, 1 loss, 1 win. Let's go over why we took these trades. So obviously you boys know we trade direction, stage and entry. So first thing was first, we had to understand what our direction for today was. So as we know, we still had this weekly new week opening gap down here that has to be fully filled at some point. Now again, I was super bearish. I said it in yesterday's video, super bearish down until this new week opening gap. Called it yesterday, said that I think that this is going to be fully filled. So I was again still looking for short positions down to this new week opening gap today, and yeah, well, I mean it's been fully filled now, so that's the end of that. But yesterday I was saying also couple that with the fact that we're coming towards the end of the year, and I was talking about the anatomy of the candlestick and how the yearly candle opens, manipulates, goes higher, and then retraces back down into the yearly range. We are now in the stage of retracing back down into the yearly range. So that is why, again, I had a bearish bias today. Now let's move on to the stage part of the model. Now the stage part of the model was super clean today. If we look actually what happened today, and we look just before New York session opened, we can see that we had, if we just look at this real quick, we can see that we had London session high that sat here, and then we also had a 4-hour fair value gap that sat right here. Now, these are the best type of days, and these are the days that you really want to be looking out for and looking to trade, because these are the days where you can make a serious amount of money. When you have a clear direction and you have a clear stage area, these are the exact days that you want to be trading. We do not want to be trading price action when it looks something like this, when we're at all-time highs and it's just ranging, there's nothing about it, it's no real direction. We do not want to be trading times like this. We want to be sitting out the markets. We like to be in times where it's clearly going in one direction and we're just catching the second leg of the move. So we had a direction of being bearish. Now our stage area was the 4-hour fair value gap. Couple that with the fact that we had London session high right here as well. So we had London session high and the 4-hour fair value gap. I was basically waiting for these 2 places to be hit and then looking to stage short entries. So if we now look what happened, we go up into the fair value gap. And when I saw this, I honestly thought there's no way we keep going higher. And I thought it was going to be one of those things that the Nasdaq usually does, where it looks like it wants to do something and then it just does the complete opposite. Now, what was really important with this is we had the new 4-hour candle opening at 3 p.m. So next candle was a 10 p.m. candle. Now, what usually happens again with a 4-hour candle, just like the yearly candle, just like the daily candle, just like any time frame candle, we open, we manipulate, we come lower, we then retrace back into the range. So I was essentially thinking, right, where can we actually put the high of the 4-hour candle? Now, we tapped into 50% of the fair value gap, so I was thinking, right, okay, we have now just put in the high of the 4-hour candle. So then I wanted to see clear displacement coming lower, inversing this fair value gap, and I would have been entering the trade like I did. So we clearly displaced coming lower, inversing this fair value gap right here. Now I entered on this candle here, so my entry was actually probably down here, like this. And long story short, I just got absolutely destroyed straight away. A bit like what happened yesterday. Now, I was really annoyed at this because I thought this should have ran. Like, there's no reason for this not to have ran, but I learned and have journaled this, and it's actually a very good point as to why this trade lost. So if we zoom out, we can see that we just tapped into the last fair value gap of the range. Now, one thing I'm going to say to you boys about the last fair value gap of the range is they are super powerful. It's really important that you understand that the last fair value gap of the range holds a lot of power. So once I then understood that we had just tapped into the last fair value gap of the range, I was then like, right, okay, I will now happily look for short positions again. So again, I saw this move coming down here, didn't get in straight away because I didn't want to be too aggressive after being aggressive on this one and getting destroyed pretty much. So then I saw us coming back high. I'm thinking, right, okay, we're now just going to keep going higher. But what I liked about this trade was the fact that we had these protected highs up here. We couldn't really close above these highs. We're inside the last 15 minute of the range. We then created a tiny 2-minute fair value gap. And because of the last trade, because I de-risked, because that is now how I'm risking, I am now essentially having a max loss limit of $500 a day. Some of you boys will know that I used to only take one trade a day, but I've now changed it up to a maximum loss limit of $500 a day. So what that basically now does is it means I can take more than one trade a day as long as I'm de-risking on the positions. So we de-risked on this position, and I knew the direction for the day. I knew we had to come and fully fill this new week opening gap. So it was now just about the entry. We tapped into the last fair value gap of the range, and then wanted to see some clear displacement lower, which we then got, like so. I then entered the trade, and long story short, this then went and ran all the way to London session lows, which is really frustrating because if I could have just caught this trade, this would probably have been the trade of the year, honestly. This was super clean, super good framework, super easy. But yeah, just really unfortunate about the first little loss that we took. Now, one thing I want to touch on before I end this video is the fact that the difference between this type of displacement and this type of displacement. So what I've put in my journal is when we see displacement like this where it's really wicky and it takes quite a long time to do the actual thing of inversing the fair value gap, chances are we probably aren't going to see a good clear move lower. You see how this is really wicky and you see how this is really clearly displacing lower. We want to be in moves like this, not like this. So what I've noted it down is when we see a move like this, we have probably got another upwards movement or downwards movement, whatever it may be, before we actually do the proper move. We don't want to be caught up in, we don't want to be in a trade when it's like this. We want to start to get into the trade when we see price action like this, when it's really clean and it just delivers to where we're trying to get to. They're the main points to take away from today. Still a decent winning day, but it could have been a lot better if we didn't take the first L that we took. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you all tomorrow in the next trade recap.